Hello, hello. That's the way, cable. There we go. Hey, Westside, hey, Flash. Hey, Ben. How is everybody? Sorry about the weird night. My insomnia kicked my butt yesterday. I just could not sleep to save my life. Better late than never, right? Ooh, that's crooked. Let's straighten that out. Ooh, there we go. Do I still have the 1887 Morgan? I do. It is still available. So if you want it, you can snag it right now since we haven't started yet. Let's put that in the right spot. Put that in the right spot. There we go. Ah, don't do that. Go away. Get my macro. There we go. Yes, I do still have it. Like I said, you can grab it right now if you want since we haven't started yet. You got it. We're going to flash. Here it is, by the way, so you can see it real quick. It's got that like cool gold coppery toning going around the edge. Yeah, it's fine. So what's everybody been up to? Surprised silver's down. I figure with the stock market tanking that silver would go up. Maybe it just hasn't caught up yet. I'm guessing it's going to rebound and shoot up probably to like 40, 45 bucks like it did during COVID. I don't know. Hopefully I'll get a chance to invest in some world silver while the price is down. Congrats on your promotion, sir. Hopefully it came with a decent pay raise. Otherwise, what's the point, right? Yeah, I've seen places out there that are like, yeah, we want to promote you to a manager. We'll give you $1 raise. It's like, yeah, nope. I'll pass. Yeah, I'd always said, especially being a top manager, that I would never be a manager for being on salary unless I get to pick the salary. Just because if you work an hourly and you work the number of hours that a lot of places force their management to work, you're actually losing money. Plus, I would never do it without the power to fire people. And a lot of companies nowadays won't let you.
Like Walmart.
You have to go through all the corporate steps just to get rid of somebody. I'd be like, nope. Unless I get to can people, I ain't doing it. Of course, a lot of the current generation managers are like afraid to fire people.
Right.
Like, oh, it might hurt their feelings and they'll get offended and sue us. Yeah, exactly. 60 to 80 hours a week. Whereas if you were doing that and getting that overtime money, then you'd be making more. All right, I'm going to give it like 5 more minutes. Hopefully people will figure out that we're on. And then we'll get this thing going. So I haven't picked up anything for the sellout giveaway yet. Rick's shop was, well, it was open, but he was out of town. He was at the Baltimore coin show all last week. So I don't know. I have a thing whenever I go into a shop and the other guy's there, I just like, all right, I'll wait till he gets back. Because, you know, Rick knows what deals he does with me. The other guy doesn't. So, but he should be back in his shop next week. I keep telling him he needs to like post up a schedule in his shop that like has all the coin shows, so that his customers know this is when I'm not going to be here. All right, 4 more minutes. Wow, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. So it wasn't a whole lot that went on pre-sale this week, so with the Morgan that you just picked up, only 6 items went in pre-sale. So most of everything is still available. And don't forget, everybody, if you haven't already done it, you only have 11 more days to do your taxes. Tax deadline's coming up. Hey, mean one. I don't do Tuesdays anymore. Flash, I'm on Thursdays now. I switched probably like 2 months ago. So we're on every Thursday night now. Except for this week because I'm on tonight. So if you are available on Thursdays, you can make it. Two minutes. And we're up to 8 now, so looks like everybody's realizing that we're on. It's a good thing. If you want to be nice, give us a like. Help that YouTube algorithm. Possibly. Hey, Fino. Alright, for anybody new, payments made by PayPal, use cheapskatecoins at gmail.com and use goods and services only, please. We also have Cash App using the same email, cheapskatecoins at gmail.com. If you use Cash App, it will say Louis Gachera. That's me. You're in the right place. Shipping is $6 to $23. $6 being a little purple bubble mailer, $23 being a large flat rate box. We do whole packages if you want to maximize your shipping, so if you want it held, just let us know. I always recommend shoot me an email if you want your package held, so that way, just in case it shoots by in the chat and I don't see it. Alright, if you want your package sent registered, there's an additional $35 charge on top of that, and if you have it sent registered, you will have to sign for it when it gets there, so keep that in mind. Registered is the only way that you can insure your coins all the way through the mail. If you're new, you can't get stuff tonight, you just have to send us an email by the end of the night. Email has to have your personal info, shipping info, channel name, which payment method you're going to use, and what email you use for that payment method for invoicing purposes. If we don't get that email by the end of the night, you will not get anything, and we never ship without payment. And as always, make sure you look at our description below for the rest of our rules and policies. Here's our Facebook link. If you're on Facebook, go give us a follow. Tonight's lot list is on there. It is the top post. We do post the Facebook or though we do post the lot list on Facebook every week. We have a sale. We also have a mailing list. If you want to be on the mailing list, shoot me an email, cheapskatecoins@gmail.com, and say add me to the mailing list. If you're on the mailing list, you will get the lot list a few days before every sale, and as soon as you get the lot list, you have the ability to pre-purchase items. It is first come, first served, just like our sales, so if you want something, don't wait, jump on it. And we do not charge for pre-sales right away anymore. So if you do get something in pre-sale, then you will get invoiced along with everybody else after the night of the sale. The only thing, for anybody who's ever wondering, the only other thing we really use the mailing list for is just like this week, if there's going to be a change in the schedule, I notify everybody on the mailing list. That's about it. Or if there's a big event coming up, then I'll shoot everybody an email to let them know. That's pretty much it. Alright, so again, for anybody who missed it, I have not been able to pick up anything for the giveaway for the sellout that we had last month. Because Rick has been in Baltimore at the coin show all week. So I have not picked up anything yet. But I do know I have it coming. Got to do that giveaway, and then we'll also have the Montly Loots giveaway for everybody that got something last month. All right, let's get this thing going. All right, kicking off as always with World Banknotes. First one is 2014 500 Rials Cambodia. It is an uncirculated note going for $2. Oh, let me bring this up a bit more. Ugh. There we go. Now you can see more of it at one time. Anybody at $2? A lot of intricate artwork in there. That is very cool. I like notes that have a lot of that little intricate artwork. Just those extra details. You know, the designer engravers took the time to put all that in there, so take a minute, enjoy it. Actually look at it. That all that hard work means something. All right, moving on. To the 1975 1000 Lyre from Italy. Going for $2. It's $1,000 for only $2. All right, moving on to the 2018 2 Bolivars from Venezuela, uncirculated for $2. I like the Venezuelan notes just because they all have like cool animals on them. And then it's got the upright on the other side. I just think they're neat. Talking about the coins or the note? If you're talking about like the silver Libertads. I can get them, I just don't because there's not like a big demand for them. So anytime I've had them, we end up just sitting on them. Plus, with them being bullion coins, you know, we have to pay, especially for the older Libertads, you know, we're paying like $10 over the price. And then, of course, to make something out of it, we got to mark it up even more for you guys. But I mean, if you have like specific years you're looking for, shoot me an email. I can definitely keep an eye out. Yeah, it's the same reason I really don't do the, you know, like the Silver Eagles or anything. It's just the margins on them are so tight. All right, moving on. You know, and I don't want to be like overcharging you guys for silver. All right, next up is 2013 to 2016 20 Rand. This is from South Africa. Uncirculated for $6. I don't know what the conversion is, but I know if you went to South Africa, you can still use this. This is still monetized. Elephant. All right, moving on. None of our banknote folks on tonight, huh? Next up, 1990, 50 pesos from Guinea-Bissau. Uncirculated for $2. All right, moving on. Two 1994 20 rubles from Tajikistan. Uncirculated for $2. moving on. Next up, this one is the only other one that is more than $2 tonight. This is the 1981 25 dinar from Iraq. It's an AU and going for $4. Alright, moving on to a 2006 and 7. This design was only used for 2 years. This is a Crony from Estonia. Going for $2. It is still available, yes. But we've already started, so you have to wait till we get there. All right, moving on. Next one. So a lot of people don't actually know what these are. It's from 2016. This is a 10 million yen from China. And these were referred to as hell money. So what these actually are is China has basically they have a version of like the Day of the Dead celebration. And when they do that, these are used as like offerings, to the people in the afterlife. Like they're offering like, here's some money for you to use in the afterlife kind of thing. So that's what these are actually for. It's a very big deal for them. If anybody's ever wondered. I don't know why they call it hell money. Maybe they think all their people are in hell. That'd be negative. Alright, moving on. And the last one, 1993. Oop, I lied. Well, this is the last world note. The next one's technically a U.S. note. 1993 5 Tugrik banknote, uncirculated, $2. Anybody? Created a great snowboard company. Okay. Cool. Alright, moving on. Never done snowboarding. I've done a lot of skiing. I've never done snowboarding. But I was a skater in my younger days. So I have owned multiple skateboards in my younger days. All right, last banknote is a 1944 5 marks. For Germany, World War II military certificate. So during World War II, the Allied guys would use these if they were on German military bases. Big Trouble in Little China, classic movie. I need to watch that again soon. I haven't seen that in ages. Heard rumors that they're thinking about making a sequel to that. If they do, I hope they don't screw it up. Because that would suck. But I heard rumors that Kurt Russell wants to do a sequel to it. Alright, moving on. If anybody decides you want any of those banknotes, let me know. Alright, so beginning of our coins was where some of the pre-sales were. So the 1933 Kopeck is already sold. And then out of the silver Kopecks, the double struck one is already sold, as are 2 of the others. So out of 8 total silver Kopecks, we only have 5 left. So these are from between 1698 and 1707. That was Peter the Great era. These are silver Russian 1 Kopecks. These were referred to as scale money, and they also have been referred to as wire cash. And they are $15 each. Anybody? Dude, I was so upset in Mortal Kombat 2 that they couldn't get Christopher Lambert back to play Raiden again. They like recast most of that movie because like nobody wanted to come back for the second one. So it was what Lyndon Ashby got recast. Of course, they killed off Johnny Cage in the first 5 seconds anyway. And then Bridget Wilson didn't come back for Sonya Blade, so that character got recast. And nobody wants any of these. Only $15 each? These things are over 300 years old. Hey Wayne, welcome. Glad to have you. Alright. Moving on. That is surprising. That is the first time these have made it through a sale without being gone. It's actually the first time they made it to a sale. Normally they were all gone in pre-sale. Hey, Doug. Alright, next up is Britain. Kicking off Britain is 1942 sixpence. 50% silver AU, $5. There. God. Alright, moving on to the 1923 florin. 50% silver VG, $8. Starting to get some of that dark toning going on. Anybody? Alright, moving on to the 1941 florin. This one's in a VF for $8. Alright, moving on to the 1942 VF for $8. Alright, moving on to the 1944. This one's in an EF for 10. It's starting to get toned. Excuse me. This thing actually says luster on it. But, I don't know, there's a little too much wear on the obverse for me to give it an AU. For some reason, the camera's making it look really flat. You can kind of see better there. Alright, moving on to the 1922 half crown. 50% silver, good, $12. This will be our last British coin for tonight. Alright, moving on. If anybody decides you want any of those, let me know. I could do 11. Will you go 11? 11, I'd break even. Alright, going to Doug for 11 on the half crown. $1 off. Alright. Our one coin from France went in pre-sale, so we are now going to be on Israel. You are very welcome. And these are all some of those really rare coins. Very low mintages on these. So the first one is the 1967 tin lyric. 90% silver BU. 234.4 thousand of these were minted. Going for 35 bucks. Amaranth. To my knowledge, I've never heard them. I might have heard one of their songs like in passing and didn't realize it. Who was everyone's favorite choice to play in Mortal Kombat? I was always partial to Sub-Zero. Especially in Mortal Kombat 3 when they had the unmasked Sub-Zero. Man, tough crowd tonight. Alright, moving on. Next up is 1970 tin lyric. This is the 22nd anniversary of Israel commemorative coin, 90% silver BU. Only 47,509 of these were minted. And again, going for 35 bucks. Yeah, Amaranth is extremely talented, so they're hard to beat. And they pretty much invented that genre of music, so. I'm just still bummed out that, that Henrik left the group. Granted, the new Growler guy's good, but I liked Henrik. Of course, I'm still bummed out that Jay left back in the day. The best lineup they ever had was when it was Elise, Jay, and Henrik. Alright, moving on. And the last one and the lowest mintage of the three. 1972, plain edge, no star. Tin lyric, 90% silver BU. Only 14,944 of these were made. Over 35 bucks. And I'll extend the same deal from last week. If anybody wants all three of them, I'll do all three for $90. It saves you $15. I hear it, man. All right, moving on. All right, next up, we're going to the Bahamas. Oh, Aaron just came in late. Aaron, are you doing the deal or did you just want the one? Aaron. Did you miss anything? Yeah, you missed a bit. But the bin you put up, Aaron, was that for the deal for all three, or did you just want the 72? I want to make sure I mark it right. You're doing the deal? All right. So, all the Britain is still available. 5 of the silver Copex are still available, and all the banknotes are still available. That's what you missed. Have a good night, man. Give me the card. I just want the one. I don't want two. Here you go. All right. Bahamas. First one up, 1966, 50 cent. 80% silver, extremely fine, 701,000 minted. Going for $12. Bring this down some. Anybody? Alright, moving on. To 1966 $1 Bahamas. 80% silver BU, 406,000 minted. Over 22. Yeah, the satin ones are really nice looking. Alright, moving on. And the last one, 1966 $2. So one is 925 sterling silver. That is nearly a full ounce of silver in that coin. BU 104,000 minted at 40 bucks. Man, only 5 people on. Slow night. All right, moving on. Next up is Netherlands. First one, we got 2 available. It's a 1955 1 gulden. They are both VFs and they are $7 each. 72% silvers. Anybody? All right, moving on to the 1956 1 gulden. 72% silver VF, over $7. So I think that cool dark toning around the rim. All right, moving on to the 1960 2.5 gulden. 72% silver BU, $20. moving on. And the last of the Netherlands, 1964, 2.5 gulden. BU for 25. Alright, moving on. Next up is Mexico. Alright, first one, I've actually got 2 available. I still got some of these in. If anybody's been wanting one. These are the 1948 5 pesos. These are the big 5 pesos, the 90%ers. There's nearly an ounce of silver in these things. They're both BU and they're 45 bucks each. Yeah, I love these coins. These are very cool coins. I'm partial to the Mexico stuff that has the Mayan artwork on it. Anybody? Yeah, ancient history is one of my hobbies. I really love learning about ancient history. All right, moving on. Next up, 1952. This one's 72% silver. It is AU toned. And go over at 26 bucks. That's cool. It's always good to learn about history. We have 2 of these available. We have this one that's toned, and then we have one that's not. And they're both 26 bucks. So if anybody bends one, just tell me if you want the toned one or the not toned one. Alright, moving on. All right, next up, we got 3 of these available, but they're different grades. These are the 1968 25 pesos. We got a BU proof like at 25. Standard BU, which is 22. And then we have one in AU that is 20. So here is the BU proof like. Standard BU. And AU. Oop. Sorry, the AU is a different year. AU is a 72 25 peso. At 20 bucks. So, 2 of the 68s and the 172. Anybody on any of those? I always recommend anybody who's into coins get into the world coins. They're awesome. And if you ever want to get into world silver, this is the place to do it. I've got a bunch of it every single week. And I do have ancients on occasion too. All right, moving on. Granted, tonight nobody seems to be interested in much. All right, last 2 Mexicos are a couple of 1977 100 pesos. They're both AU and they're 26 bucks each. Yeah, that tends to be the way of it. All right, moving on. I need to find some more people into World Silver because a lot of you guys already have a lot of this stuff. You find some more people that want it. All right, and last of the silver type stuffs. This is the one where I always say it's a world coin, but a U.S. coin at the same time. 1944S, 50 centavo, USA, Philippines. 75% silver, VF, 10 bucks. And going to Adam Jam. Grat, sir. Adam beat you to it, Fino. All right. Here's a piece of history. I'm actually surprised that this has lasted for as long as it has here. 1848. Braided hair large cent. VG, 20 bucks. Anybody? All right, moving on. All right. Next up is a series of Indian cents. All of them but one are $2 a piece. The only one that's not is the 1909. So I'm going to just link them all real quick. And then I'll go through them on camera. So we got the 1890 in good. 93 in VG. $96 in good. $97 in good. Whatever. $98 in good. Don't accidentally copy twice. There are two of them. $99 in good. $1,900 VG. $1,901 VG. $1,902 VG. $1,903 VG. $4 VG. $5 VG. $6 VG. $7 in good. $8 in good. And then the only one that's not $2, the 09 in fine, which is 4. Here's the 1890. I should do these under the scope. That'll be easier. All right, 1890. Here's the 93. The 96. $97. $98. $99. $1,900. $1,901. $1,902. $1,903. $1,904. $1,905. Here's the 06. $7. The 08. And here is the 09. Anybody on any of these? I'll do a bundle on these if anybody wants all of them. I'll go $25 for all of them. If anybody wants all of them on a bundle. That saves you $9.50. You taking the bundle, Aaron? You got it, sir. Stop it.
To be ahead of the
I probably got a trifold somewhere. But we'd have to take them out of these. There's also a whole bin of trifold albums down there.
I'm looking today's book.
Let me make sure we have one first. I'm fairly positive we do. We just gotta dig one out. Make sure it's cheap too. It'll be $2. If we have one. Or if nothing else, I'm sure we probably have one that just has cents. Oh, yep, she found one. There you go. Indian head cents, including Flying Eagles, 57 to 09. Ugh. You need a 1909 Indian head? I've probably got another one if you want one. Be $2 for a low grade one.
What?
1909 Indian head. Alright, let me finish up getting Aaron's name on all of these. You're welcome. And then down at the bottom, Indian cent trifold, $2. Alrighty. Next up. For anybody still looking at some of these. 2017 Philadelphia. The only year they ever put the P mint mark on the penny. That was for the 225th anniversary, right? Is that right? Of the Philadelphia Mint. Beautiful BU, going for $4. Things are getting hard to come by. People really like hoarded these things. I only needed one. But thank y'all. I know those are in like no kind of order whatsoever.
No, they're not.
Alright, moving on. By the way, if anybody ever needs trifold albums, I've got a bunch of them, so just ask me. Not really anything for world coins right now. But a lot of the American stuff. And they average $2-3 a piece. So, if anybody ever needs one, just ask.
Yeah, that's the only other one that we have. And then we have
Next up, 1868 Shield Nickel. VG, $25. It's the most underappreciated series in all of American numismatics right here.
I'll put this in order. After I get back.
Oh, I ain't worried about it. Just throw them all back in and shove it back under. Unless you're bored. Oh, where'd that go? There you go. Alright, moving on. Alright, Fino, here's the one you've been waiting on. 1883, no cents. Vehicle AU, 25 bucks. Here's your chance to grab it. Going to Fino. Alright, next up, we got a couple of the old V-Nickel bundles. Over $8 each. First bundle, 1903 and good. 1904 and good. A 1911 and good. 1912 VG toned. And 1912 Denver VG with some toning starting. Anybody? $8 for the bundle. That's less than $2 a coin. Hey, see him. Thanks for popping in. Alright, moving on. And here is bundle number 2. 1901 and good. 1903 VG toned. 1904 and good. 1910 and good. And 1911 and good. Indeed. Not quite. It makes them $1.60 each. And this bundle's going to Doug. Congrats, Doug. If anybody else wants that other bundle, let me know. All right. Next up, silver proof nickels. We got the 2014s this week. So we got Great Sand Dunes, Everglades, Arches, Shenandoah, and Great Smoky Mountains. So these are $14 each or $55 for the set. Which saves you $15 if you get the whole set. Drops into $11 each. 90% silver proofs. Anybody? All right, moving on. Shipping is between $6 and $23, depending on how much you get. $6 is the little purple bubble mailers, and then $23 is a large flat rate box. So after the little bubble mailer, the next one up would be the small flat rate or the padded flat rate, which is $10.50. And then the medium flat rate is $16, and the large flat rate is $23. And we do whole packages for anybody who wants to maximize their shipping and fill their package all the way up. Men's Day 67, nice. That's awesome. All right, next up, silver Kennedys. Starting off with the 1964 silver proof. Over $20. Boss is calling. All right, moving on to the 1970s. This is one of the 40 percenters. Going for $8. So it's technically second to the last year of 40 percenters because they did do the 1976 40 percenter. Alright, moving on. Alright, and the rest of these are modern 90% proofs. I'm just going to link each one of them, and if there's a date you want, say bin and the date. So we got 94 for 15 bucks. Have a good night, man. 95, 20 bucks. 96, 20 bucks. 98 for 18. And then the rest of these are all 15 bucks each. 04. 6. 7. 8. And 14. Yeah, I was bummed out when I had to sell my uncirculated 1912S. Sold it for, I think, $1,100 back when we needed money really bad. That was definitely one of the top coins in my collection as well. Value-wise, it was the top coin in my collection. And here's the 95. $96. Again, these are all 90% silver proofs. 98. 2004. 2006. 2007. Yeah, it was a beauty. 2008. And 2014. So anybody on any of the Kennedys? I can do a bundle on these too if anybody wants all of them. I know there's plenty of people out there that are into the vehicles. It's just most people already have the most common dates, so it's the hard to get dates are the ones they're looking for. Because there's only, what, like 3 coins in the entire vehicle collection that are even somewhat hard to get. That's why it's a good starter collection for anybody that wants to get into a different collection. Because it's not super hard to put one together. Alright, moving on. I'm starting to think I'm one of the only people out there that are really into Kennedys. That's like the 3rd or 4th time I've had those in a sale and nobody wants them. Oh yeah, barber halves are very hard to get. I mean, like you have the common dates, but like especially if you want decent grade, then they become super hard. Some of those, even getting EFs, really, really hard for common date EFs. All right, last 3 lots of the night. I have a couple of people that have me looking for EFs for barbers, and I can't find them. These are the 2010, well, 3 out of 4 of the 2010 presidential dollars. Bundle them out for the Kennedys. Let me do this, and then I will figure that out for you real quick, MJ. So these are $4 each. They're proof decams. If anybody wants all 3, I'll do all 3 for $9.
You know what? Nope.
All right, let me figure this out real quick, MJ. Dang it. If I did the math right, MJ, I would do it for $152 for all the Kennedys. Which would be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13, 22. It'd be $24 off the top. So if anybody else wants that bundle, that is what it would be for all them Kennedys. All right, recap. All the banknotes are still available. Did anybody care about banknotes? All right, the 1698 to 1707 1 silver Kopeck Russias. We've got 5 still available at $15 each.
Let's not do that.
That's these little guys. All right, all the Britain coins are still available. All the Bahamas, Netherlands, Mexico are still available. Anybody on any of the world silver? All right, for American coins, the 1848 braided hair large cent is still available. The 2017 Philadelphia Lincoln cent. The 1868 shield nickel. One of the V nickel bundles. The silver proof quarters, 2014s. And of course the Kennedys and the presidentials. So anybody on anything else? And MJ is taking that bundle on the Kennedys, so the Kennedys are not still available. Oops.
I'm gonna already should have it turned off. Those are 90. Yeah.
All of them but one. The 1970 is a 40%. The rest of them are 90s. But with the bundle deal, it's making the 40% or $5.
He said okay.
Did you already grab them?
Yep.
All right. Anybody else?
No.
All right, I'm going to get out of here then. As always, give me a little bit to get the invoices out. Hey, everybody, have a great night. Thanks for coming out.
Have a good night, guys.
And I will see you guys next week. Hey, Moose Socks. We're just getting done, so watch back through the replay. If there's anything that you want, just hit me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just getting done. But you can watch the replay, see what's still available, and then if there's something you wanted, just email me. You guys can always do that. You don't have to wait till sale days to get stuff from me. Just shoot me emails.
You too.
Catch y'all later.